a lot of these big companies, like the big developers, they're all in the government's pockets because they are contributing to their political campaign. And I'm giving you all this money, so you better do all this stuff for me. So there's a lot of corruption and cojones and all that stuff.
Welcome to the Canadian Mortgage Show. Here are mortgage professionals, Pang and Alex Shanks, to cut through the BS and educate Canadians on all things mortgages and real estate.
Welcome to episode 94 of the Canadian Mortgage Show. Alex Pang here alongside Alex Shanks. Thankfully, the weather has cooled down. It was quite the scorcher this past week.
No, I always find it so funny, Alex. We all complain when it's too damn cold, then we complain when it's too damn hot. I mean, like a week ago, like that was like my favorite temperature. A week ago, this last week, it's like we're recording on June 25th. And if everyone knows, like in BC, yeah, the last few days have been scorchers for sure. But the week before that, like just perfect temperature.
Yeah, I mean, when we're talking about like 30 to 35 degrees, I know we don't get that much heat in BC, so shouldn't complain. But it's got like, it's a little hot.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I got like in my office, I have like an AC unit right there. And so like hard thing this week, I've had a lot of phone calls. Other people won't hear it. Like I could turn it on, but like, I don't know if you ever know, like when you're on a phone call, Alex, like you talk louder because you feel like the person can't hear you. And anytime I've tried it, it just destroys my voice. So like on Monday, I was in like a sweat box because I had phone calls all day long, just left the AC not on, came out, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, that must have been hot. But folks, I guess before we begin here, let's make sure you hit that follow and subscribe button on YouTube and Spotify. We're inching up here. We're at 141 on YouTube, holding steady at 389 on Spotify. Let's hit that 400 mark. Help us grow the community and get us to 1,000 on both platforms. Now, Alex, we're a little disappointed as World Cup's going on. We had the chance to win the group.
Yep.
Didn't happen yesterday.
And that's I was gonna say, I saw your post with your family there again. You guys were trying to bring the good luck, and I was gonna say, well, were you guys good luck or were you guys the bad luck? What was it that way?
Yeah, I wish I had that power. If that was the case, all the juju was going on. Don't shave, the playoff beard and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, we're watching. Hoping for a tie. Switzerland. They are a better team, right? Let's call it spade a spade. They took advantage of couple of our mistakes that we had. We're like, oh, back of our net. Whereas we had opportunities. We had so many opportunities, just couldn't convert, or didn't get the right angle, or just didn't put enough mustard on the kicks or the headers and all that stuff, or it went right into the goalie. It was 2-0. It wasn't looking good. And then Promise David subbed in, scored a goal right away. It was a pretty goal. Got to 2-1, and then we started pressing for the last 15 minutes. And we're all talking about like, isn't Alphonso Davies going to be subbed on? And he never did, which kind of led us all to believe like, hey, Jesse Marsh, were you lying that he's actually ready? Is he still injured? And yeah, he admitted that he was using him as a decoy and such.
Yeah.
But he says he's ready for Sunday. I'm like, yeah, okay.
That's that's every coach's thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's sad that we don't win the groups. That means we have to travel to LA to play South Africa. So initially we thought it was going to be South Korea, which they would give us trouble as well. But South Africa upset them in the group stage. They won 1-0, and now South Africa will be playing us in LA. Now I'm going to go on a soapbox here. We are one of the host nations. We spent how many hundreds of billions of dollars? I don't know what the number is. Some crazy outlandish number to get the games in Canada. So we have 7 games in Vancouver, 6 games in Toronto. We should be able to host, the host nation should have home games no matter what. Like there have been years in the past where Japan and Korea were co-hosting. No matter how it works out, the host nation should still be on home turf. Because that's, whether you finish first or second and everything. A lot of people said, well, if you finished first, you would have been. I'm like, that's great. But US, no matter if they finished first or second, they would have stayed. Same thing with Mexico. If they finished second, they would have had to travel to the US as well. So, I mean, it didn't make sense. This is the first time a host nation has to travel outside their country to play a knockout stage. So That wasn't really fair on that
I
part.
mean, economically, when we'll talk about it, I mean, obviously, like, hey, it probably would be more beneficial to Canada if it was there. But again, it's they're going by what they think is best for the World Cup.
Yeah, and I mean, you know what? This could be kind of a silver lining because if we won the group, there was a possibility we would have played Belgium. I think right now, Switzerland is lined up with Algeria, and then maybe after, if they move on, it would have an easier time to further along. Whereas us, playing South Africa, it might be a silver lining because they are lower in the standings. They are not as bad as Qatar, but they're also ranked 54th in the world, so we should beat them. But just like any team, just like the Canucks in 2011, don't take your opponent lightly. And we're both of us are going on 3 or 4 days rest, so we're playing on Sundays pretty quick. And from my understanding, they're an athletic team, so they are quick on the counterattack and all that stuff. So we got to be on our toes and such. But yeah, excited.
Yes, it's fun times. I mean, it's just nice to again. It's I mean, the world. It's like, and I saw something. And sorry, everyone, we're talking about sports so much right now, but I mean, I saw one football, like American football here, say that the Super Bowl is more watched than the World Cup. Super Bowl got like 124 million. The World Cup's the opening ceremony had 1.24 billion. Like it's not even, again, the US thinks that football, American football is the most important thing in the world. It doesn't compare to actual football.
Yeah, I mean, we all know that soccer, football, I call it real football, footy. It's the world sport, even though it's not the number one sport in North America. I'm going to tell you why it probably is because North Americans, they don't like the flopping. That when as soon as you get hit, you're like, oh, and then as soon as they got shot, they're rolling around. Whereas North American sports, we're taught to be tough, take a hit, get right up, and keep going. It's not the case for the rest of the world. They're taught to try to get a foul, try to get them a yellow card, try to get a free kick, a penalty kick, or whatever. Like not the case in North America.
But I mean, I think if you talk to even most soccer players, my wife's family and my wife played on provincials teams here in BC, like they're very soccer. And I mean, most good soccer players also believe like the faking is not good for the sport. Like it's like, hey, you know what? If you fake that bad, you should be getting a yellow card, red card. Like, let's make it an enjoyable game.
Yeah, in theory, they can get yellow carded, but it doesn't happen that often. It's only if it's super egregious where you see guys like you hear like Neymar roll around forever, like yeah, so it is what it is, but it's definitely enjoyable. I'm definitely enjoying seeing like the fan festivals, like I'm seeing in North Van the shipyards where the Colombian fans were just going nuts and such, and even yesterday, like before the game, there was I would say tens of thousands of Canadian fans doing the march, the Voyagers doing the march. I saw Mayor Ken Sim joining the group too, and had some friends and family member attend the game. So yeah, I mean, even though it ended in disappointment, I mean, we still played pretty hard and we came in second. So
We got some sad news in the financial world here. I mean, and we've had it, but the wealthy barber Dave Shelton, he announced his retirement there. 'Cause we were lucky enough to have him on the podcast to help Canadians just talk about like the basics of financing. I think it's sad. It's always sad to see with someone that's been so well respected in the industry. And again, he's doing it because he wants to spend more time with his family. And that is the whole goal in life. It's to be able to do that. And so we do wish Dave Shilton the best that way. And maybe we can get him. He is going to be doing some more media before. So maybe we can get him on one more time. If again, you as the people listening, you guys got to let us know if you like that. Like we need to know. We'll get the people that you guys are actually interested in.
absolutely, and like he's even self-admitted, like yeah, he's not getting any younger. He has some friends too that has their health is failing, which kind of give him reflection on, hey, I got to spend time with the people that matter most to me. And so yeah, he is going to make one more major media push before the end of the year, before he rides off into the sunset and start collecting those royalty checks there. Yeah. Wealthy barber. So yeah, I mean, hey, we can try get him back on again before he goes. But yeah, congratulations, Dave Shilton, on your retirement. But yeah. Well, Alex, let's get into this. We announced
Be a force one.
yeah, we announced this last week, but it was right after the Qatar game, so there wasn't enough people to digest this. But we're talking about the whole the BC condo bailout here that Carney announced while he was here. Like, hey, you even said here, investor who called this big short, like the Carney condo bailout is worse than the 2008 subprime fiasco. This is like I said last week, it's like privatizing profits and socializing losses. You should just let the free market reign. Like if you're going to take the risk and see the run up, you should be able to take the risk.
Enigma. I mean, that's like we did. We're
Company, you should be able to let the companies go bankrupt and all that stuff, which leads me to believe that a lot of these big companies, like the big developers, they're all in the government's pockets because they are contributing to their political campaign. And I'm giving you all this money, so you better do all this stuff for me. So there's a lot of, corruption and cojones and all that stuff.
And again, I can see things of like, hey, maybe do we need some stuff for helping developers like actually build the home? Maybe we should be giving lands at a cheaper cost. Like those I can get on board. But like this one is, it is such a, hey, you guys didn't make your money. You guys didn't really lower the prices all that much. It's like, you guys are still keeping the prices there. So now it's like, ooh, who cares? The government's going to help us bail out from this. And it's not going to affect us. They're going to make the money from it. Us, the Canadian taxpayers, we're the ones that are going to have to pay for it. And so it's not really a win-win for anyone. I mean, on here, Mark Honey says, confirms at a press conference now that the BC condo conversion program will be a rent-to-own program. Now, I'd be very interested to know how this goes. Like, we know that rent-to-own in Canada so it's a preyed upon thing. It is really for the benefit of the owner. It's not benefit for the people that is buying it to try and rent it. Really preys on people that have bad credit. This is going to be maybe a bit better there, but I don't think it's going to be a benefit. They're kind of saying, well, we tried like the first time homebuyer initiative. Hey, don't worry, we'll give you some of the down payment. I think they spent millions of dollars on it. And overall of Canada, I think like 80,000 people used it. And it's like, this is not going to benefit people. There's going to be hard caps on the income numbers of like, hey, you can probably only make like 80,000. And most of the time, these prices are going to be too high to even qualify for it.
Yeah. I mean, both those on the left and the right are not liking it. On the right, like I said, privatizing profits, socializing losses. On the left, Carney is helping out the developers, which has made the people on the left furious. I mean, it's like, it's not a fair system. And if you want to make things affordable, let the free market do its thing. Developers will fail. There's going to be some bankruptcies and prices will drop. There's your affordability right there. Why can't you let it be like that? There was one of our sources here said that David Eby, or BC Premier here, was really pushing for this. So 90% is 90% of this $1.4 billion budget is going to be funded by the province, BC, 10% the feds, which leads us to believe that David Eby was really pushing for this. And
oh, totally.
Yeah, and this kind of goes backwards to how it was before he came to power. That saying, hey, we're not gonna socialize this and take on the government. People can afford what they can afford, and just let the free market reign.
And again, the hard thing on the mom and pop investors, your guys is in Vancouver, your rents are going to be coming down. Like that's, again, those are the people that are going to feel the pain from this. It's going to be driving rent prices down, which in some cases might be a win. That may be a win for people that are renting. Maybe we go back to a time where, hey, if you're renting it, maybe it's a lot cheaper than owning, so that maybe you can actually save money up to go buy something. But in a whole, I don't think it's a great thing as a whole there. It's like you said, it's bailing out the developers that they don't lose anything. They're still going to make their profits there. And they're like, oh, this is awesome. I won and it didn't affect me.
I can give you an example of the free market doing its thing. Well, we all know that we're trying to rent out our one-bedroom basement suite. So at the peak, our renter came in at $1,600 at the peak. And he's since has moved on, but now that rents have come down, I can't charge $1,600 a month rent anymore based on what the current market is asking. I put it up for $1,400. One person replied in 2 weeks, and that person was not good. So, my wife and I were like, you know what? I think we should drop it. So I dropped it $50 to $1,350. Well, all of a sudden I got three or four inquiries. So you know what that means, folks? This is called price discovery, right? When this is the price, apparently that going from the 14 number to 13, all of a sudden made people it made people kind of inquire about it. So this is what the free market is. We've discovered that $1,350 or around there, $1,300 to $1,400 for our suite is what the market can bear. So that's how it should be like for this case here on this condo bailout. You should not, like, by bailing it out, you're kind of saying that we don't want these losses. We are putting a floor on the losses.
And again, I mean, we've said it. No politician in Canada is going to say that real estate prices should come down. Again, we all say that we want it to be more affordable for the younger generation and everything. Well, the only way for it to become affordable is either home prices need to drop or we need to make people make more money. We know that if people make more money, well, the cost of goods are going to go up. So like we're stuck in this yo-yo, and that's where, I mean, if this probably got to lay out more, well, these condos probably would have dropped more in value, and it would have been like, awesome, maybe a first-time home buyer can actually now go buy them at a better price. And hey, over the long term, maybe they would have appreciated it, but yeah, the condo developers, they would have lost money.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure the condo developers. I mean, even Bob Rennie was hinting at this last year about, oh hey, I'm working with the government, da 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 da, and this could have been it. And I'm sure they're kind of backroom dealing, lobbying in the background, like, hey, we're giving your party millions of dollars, whatever. You got to make this easy for us to, to do business here and all that stuff. So I'm pretty sure this is whole, satisfying your largest supporter base. And
Yeah, and we will be hearing this about this in Ontario. Like this has happened now in BC. Ontario is even worse than what we are in BC. Like the bloodbath there, it will be happening there as well.
yeah. And, speaking of this, of talking about the rent, I was talking about this whole Senaqua Squamish First Nation, about these affordable housing market rents. I was reading more about it, and the floor plans were like so obscure. They're like kind of like trapezoids. They're not even like square rectangle floor.
Are we just trying to fit more space into like
Yes.
for yeah.
And then some of the rents they were asking was like 3 bedroom for 9,700 and a 3 bedroom house for like 12,500 a month. I'm like, hot dang, that's no one's gonna afford that. That's kind of like Oak Ridge back in the day, $2,000 a square feet. I'm like, no one's gonna do that. And when I looked at that, one of our sources here noticed that they pulled down the pricing on the website and the floor plans. So they probably hearing so much public backlash about it. I'm like, this is not even close to being affordable.
Oh, that's
And
again, even when you talk about the four, and that's where like I'm really interested to see when they come out with these, like what type of rents, like are these actually going to be below market, or again, is it going to be at the market? Maybe it's like right where, hey, if you guys are doing this, well, it should benefit the Canadians. And the only way it's going to benefit Canadians if the prices would have went down, or hey, you give it at a discount for rent. That to me is the only way. And again, it needs to be set up in the right way. Again, the developers getting their money from it. Me and you, we're paying the tax dollars for this now.
yeah, I was at a market update this morning with I was presenting to some financial advisors, and we were talking about this very thing and how this is probably just a way to bail out the developers and dress it up as an affordable housing initiative. Honestly, it's really, and like, and they were talking about like, hey, why don't they give money into to fix homelessness of all that, like, giving all this money away. And one thing I said to them, you know why? Because it's not sexy politically, right?
And I mean, they've tried it. We talked about it last week. Like they have bought like full on apartment buildings in downtown Vancouver, which is now, for one, it's destroying like that area for Vancouver. It's like, well, why did we place all these people that are homeless and they have issues? Again, especially if anyone's from Vancouver, a lot of the people on the homeless side just came from the medical center that closed out towards like Coquitlam.
Riverview Hospital.
Yeah, that's where a lot of people, it's like, well, why are we not spending money to maybe open that back up and put those people there? Why are we putting them downtown where it's meant to be our hub for everyone? And again, like, I want to help people, but I also want to protect people. It's like, hey, why don't we put them into an actual safe area, not put them down on Granville Street? Like, I won't even take my kids to Granville Street anymore. Like, it's not going to happen.
I'd like to go back to our friend of the show, Brad West. He says that doing the right things for the city oftentimes isn't the most glamorous. And what this tells me is that they were going for the glamorous, the shiny object to make it look like they're doing something, but really we know it's a bailout for their developer buddies who are supporting their campaigns and all that stuff.
I'd be interested. I don't know. Again, like everyone, I have not really seen anyone that's been like, this is an awesome idea, other than David Eby and Mark Carney.
Yeah, I mean, like rolling back, there was other announcements on top of this where, like, hey, they're spending money on infrastructure for expanding hospitals, helping rebuild Tumbler Ridge, all that other stuff. we support all those other infrastructure stuff. Okay. The condo part, this is where we're blasting, and this is where we're spending a lot of time on. Like, this is dumb, and this is not going to end well. Hey guys, Alex Pang here, your favorite Canadian mortgage show co-host. You've heard us talk about all things mortgages, but if you have questions about your own mortgage, or you're thinking about buying, refinancing, or renewing, send us an email at info@canadianmortgageshow.com. We're always happy to help. That's info@canadianmortgageshow.com. Now, back to the show.
Yeah, well, we're going to go back into FIFA World Cup here. We're not talking about actual like that. We're going to talk about the economics of here, because this benefits. Is it actually a benefit to us as a country? Again, we know that, hey, the thing here, and even if you go back to when the Olympics were in Vancouver and stuff, there's pros and cons to it. Obviously, it costs a lot of money, but also there's infrastructure benefit. Like, stuff has to happen to actually make these things, which hopefully, I mean, obviously, maybe do we invest more in the airports, transit, roads? Like, it's hard for people to think of, all we want to think of, what is our benefit? Now, in all honesty, there's no tax dollar pays to me and you. Like, even if you live downtown Vancouver, it's only if you owned a business, and that's going to come down. Hey, if you had a restaurant, if you were in hotels, that is where people are actually going to see a benefit of boosting the economy. The hard thing right now that doesn't actually bode well is it's going to boost our economy here in BC and make stuff look better than it actually is. Like, our GDP and stuff is going to go up, but that's going to be for a short-term game, where really, even in Canada, we know that we're not doing well. But with the World Cup coming in, they are going to be able to offset some numbers there. And that's why, like, I like to hear your take on, Alex. If you think, again, you're where I live, this stuff's never really happened for me. And so, like, I'd like to know, like, do you actually think, even talking about the Olympics and World Cup, like, would you agree that it's benefited the city or not?
I would say the Olympics benefited the city more because it's what it's left behind. We have the Richmond Oval now. The Sea to Sky Highway has been expanded. There was parts of it before where it would only go down to one lane, or
Yeah.
now it's 2 lanes all the way to Whistler. That now we have the Canada SkyTrain line from the airport to downtown. Those are infrastructure projects that have for the Olympics, and now they're permanent, and it helped us. The World Cup, I don't think it's done anything other than, of course, tourism, hospitality. Hey, those are great. Those are kind of like one event, like a glorified Taylor Swift concert that got stretched out to 5 weeks.
I would be interested to know. Like, that would be an actually very interesting stat to find out, because I remember we talked about it when the T Swift concert came in, how much it boosted the economy and that. I'd be interested to know, did the World Cup boost the economy more for Canada, like BC here, or did the Taylor Swift concert actually boost it more?
Yeah, and we're not trying to poo-poo this. We love the World Cup. Like, I'm not a huge soccer or football fan, but when it comes, I'm an event guy. Like, hey, this is amazing. I mean, unfortunately, my wife doesn't like huge crowds, so I haven't been able to go down to like Science World, PNE, or whatever. But the stuff I see on social, it's amazing. I'm like, oh man, that'd be awesome. And even got my wife in it, and like, hey, let's at least go to like a restaurant or a pub and at least get some sort of atmosphere. And there's that feeling of nationalism. That's great. We are all for those kind of things. And later on this year, in October, Bruno Mars is coming to town. He's playing 5 shows, and there's going to be an economic benefit too. But overall, I think we spent more money than we're actually receiving overall. So, I mean, it's a great thing. It's created, and I'm sure more attention on Canadian men's soccer, and it might boost our like investment into it, and more kids will get into the sport, and those are good things. Overall economic from a long-standing, probably not.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, I like to go, I was watched a YouTube video of like everything that happened with the Knicks, like their parade and everything. I mean, if you look at like how much money and stuff that has to go into those parades, does that benefit? But it's for the community. Like, that's where it is. And I mean, again, that's what's been cool to see from the World Cup. It's people coming together. It's reminiscing that way of like, hey, we may not agree on everything. I might be left party, you might be right party, but everyone's there at a sporting event. And so that's where it's nice to see that. But I don't think, and again, it would have been nice if they probably would have rethought the Airbnb and stuff. I mean, most people can't even go because they can't freaking afford a hotel. And it's like, it's not even financially possible.
Yeah, and I've heard too, like some of the hotels, their like vacancy rates, they're not doing as well as they thought. It's actually worse this year than last year because the hotel rates are so high. people have decided not to come. And I've heard too, even corporate businesses who come here to do conventions or do whatever, trade shows or whatever, they've canceled it because the World Cup is happening and it's just way too expensive for them and it's too cost prohibitive. And so it's almost been the positives, and then the negatives, it kind of like, okay, I don't want to take it away. World Cup is amazing. It kind of put Vancouver back on the map. I mean, it never disappeared, but it's kind of shone a light on Vancouver as just being such a beautiful place. Like, hey, we take it for granted. Science World got converted to Adidas soccer ball. I'm like, oh wow, that's awesome.
Well, I mean, even that, like where they're doing like their recordings, like you said last time in the Bay, like a lot of people online were like, "That's AI. This is fake. That's a backdrop." It's like, no, that is real life.
Yeah, that's Cole Harbor. They're doing their TSN panel. English Bay or Burrard Inlet with North Van in the background. Like that's how what we see in the summer and stuff. So that's a good thing economically. I would say it's kind of like would you call it a break even or a net zero?
Again, I'd be interested again, like, hey, maybe some people that own restaurants and stuff, they've probably see like a net gain that way. I would like to know, and we're going to talk right now about like the inflation numbers. I would like to know, like in Canada, we have some of the worst food inflation in all of G7. I would be very interested to know. And again, hey, I'm not scoffing on any of the businesses that increase their prices during like World Cup. But again, I want to know, hey, are you paying more for these goods and that's why you're increasing it? Or again, are you going on supply and demand? Ooh, this is going to be it where I can increase my prices. We know that when you walk into the airport, stuff is more expensive. You can't go anywhere else. So, hey, you have to pay more for this. And that's where I would say probably some of the cost of stuff has gone up here, which again is going to affect our inflation. Our inflation came in at 3.2%, which is higher. It was expected due to the Iran war and everything. Prices jumped on the gas, diesel, and food inflation's at 4.3%. That number is going to go higher here. Maybe we start to see the inflation for fuel and everything go down, that like everything that way. But does this mean that rates are going to go up? No. But these are all stuff like this number. Again, we've just been going up in food. We have not had lower food prices.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked about this on end here. I don't have steak anymore. We had friends over yesterday. We had a barbecue. I picked up some meats. I avoided steak because
My wife bought me a steak the other day, Alex, and I didn't say anything to her. It was $18.37. And I was like, holy fuck.
just one like
For one steak.
it's a 7-ounce steak or whatever it
It
is.
was good. It was tasty. It was tasty. I'm not gonna lie, but I was like, looked at it. I didn't want to be like, oh my god, you bought an $18 piece of steak.
Yeah, there's a place that we visited not too long ago. They have a steak and fries. It's a 12-ounce steak, $76. I'm like, holy. I'm like, I know I like steak, but sorry, just can't do it. So yeah, the price of protein, not just meat, chicken. I heard chicken's on the rise too, as well. Like a pack of chicken breasts that used to be what, 18, $19, like 7, 8 breasts. It's like 35 now. Something like that number. So I mean, like, yeah, you're right. Is it because of actual inflation or companies because of the oligopolies, like we've talked about before with telecom, airlines and food? They're just finding a reason to price gouge. And we recently got a settlement for the bread fixing scandal, right? That was
Right. We got the testing of oil, the fuel cost, especially in Vancouver. Oh no, we don't increase those prices. It's like, well, why does the fuel always go up before the long weekend? Tell me why is that? Like again, like we say that we're pricing it because this is what there's going, but again, these companies are all in cahoots. Like there is no questions on that. And I mean, we can even see it on the banking side for interest rates. Sometimes certain banks have really good rates, then they go bad. Then the next bank has it. Like they're all profiting from this where all of us are not.
Yeah, it is what it is. Now, on the interest rate side, even though this inflation has come in a little higher than expected, Bank of Canada, we're still expecting Bank of Canada to hold rates for the rest of the year, especially specifically the next step on July 15th. And other than when rates increased significantly in 2022 to 2024, typically nothing really happens in the summer anyway, because most of the MPs and people go on vacation away to their cottages and all that stuff. Now, fixed rates, we were hoping to see fixed rates go down. I mean, it's come down from the peak.
Yeah, like I mean, some lenders have started to decrease, but again, it's like they're decreased from the peak. It's not like we're still not back to where we were in like December, January.
Yeah.
A lot of people keep saying, well, here rates are going down. It's like, well, they're down a little bit from 4.5%, which is nice, but we're still not back to where we were in December.
Yeah, we've always said the rate increase is always up to the moon
Super
because it's
fast. Yeah.
rocket to the moon and then parachute down. So like the analogy I give to clients and other people are like, okay, it's kind of like releasing poking a needle on in a tire. It's losing air, but it's not losing it as fast as you would like it to. It's just it'll just
There's
take
this there's this guy on social media out of Australia. He's a economist, and he always does videos on like why this happens. And yeah, I said that word funny there, Alex. I can see you laughing. It's
Oh, you know what, we have our blooper reel by the end of the year. I hope EJ folks, yeah, Alex's pronunciations of words are hilarious.
Sometimes my brain thinks faster than my mouth wants to talk. But yeah, he makes some pretty funny videos, and it was like a one on a fuel thing of like, ooh, we got news that like oil prices are going up, and it's him talking back and forth. He's like, oh yeah, we got to raise prices instantly. And the guy like he's like, oh yeah, like every time it happens, you got to increase those prices right away. And then it's like, oh, the oil prices are going down. We gotta decrease prices right away, right? He's like, no, calm down. No, no, no. We gotta go slow on that part. We don't go fast down.
Yeah, these aren't like stocks where things get manipulated. It's like one begets the other instantly. Yeah, it might happen. It pushes pressure, but usually, interest rates go down once enough pressure happens that banks will do it. And like you said, once one does it, another one will follow suit, and they're like, oh shoot, we need to keep up. We need to keep up. That kind of thing. So they kind of go in lockstep here.
On here, this is like Canada's economy is forecasted to rebound towards the end of this year, bringing growth to 0.07% to 26 after weak activity in the first quarter. I mean, again, this is going to go up, especially for one, because of the World Cup and everything, but it doesn't actually give a direct relation to like, is our economy doing good? No. Like we're going to see a boost here. Jobs are going to increase. Everything's going to maybe look like sunshine and rainbows for a little bit. But again, it's still not going good. In the US, their economy is taking off. But again, is it all to do with this AI bubble? We got the SpaceX launch, and I mean, that's where it's like hard. Like their numbers are so high. But again, like it's just these AI companies like just profiting off of each other.
Yeah, and just like how we mentioned before, where when we had the whole .com bubble then burst, anything with the e-commerce thing, .com, and this is 25 years ago now. They were getting a lot of money, IPO, and then they realized they really had no business model, and then that's where the collapse happened. The history never usually repeats itself, but it often rhymes, right? This kind of feels like that might be the case with AI. We're hearing AI about everything. I mean, yes, we will get a rise of it. Is it going to take over our lives? We'll see what happens when the dust settles and everything. And you're right. Once the World Cup stuff ends, July 19th, I believe, August report will show it's still elevated, but it's not till September when we hear the August report of like, oh, well, the World Cup's over. So these were temporary employment. So everyone's all laid off now. If I still subscribe to the fact that if we are going to see some sort of interest rate movement, it would be a decrease in the fall if it does happen. If not, then it'll be flat for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I lean on the side that I personally believe where rates are, like this is where we should sit for a while. I think it would be better in the grand scheme of things. Could they decrease? It would maybe benefit for a little bit, but then they probably would have to increase it. So it's like, you know what? Let's just wait and watch. Actually, let's maybe not do something for a year and see what happens.
Yeah, I agree. Wawa recently gave an update for May housing market here. The benchmark price has dropped 4% year over year to 667,000. Average sale price 702,000 here, and it's been up 1.5% year over year. There's been just under 38,000 in sales, which is down 0.6% year over year. Now, the important thing, that's what a national number is, but the important things are regional. Ontario and BC, no surprise here, annual declines, but monthly prices have rose in Ontario, and there's been little change in BC. Now in Quebec, prices are stabilizing after reaching a new record average. So it looks like maybe a lot of the money is going over to Quebec, Montreal, and such because of the affordability, and maybe they've reached a new plateau there. Same thing with the prairies. Saskatchewan hit new price records. Alberta is kind of posting modest monthly gains. And again, Atlantic Canada, the cheaper areas or the more affordable, New Brunswick, Newfoundland reached record highs. So you'll see on the graph here, all the red ones that are seeing decreases are the expensive provinces, BC and Ontario, right? And all the affordable ones, and in Alberta in a smaller respect, but all the other affordable provinces have seen gains there.
And again, I mean, it's hard when you have such large numbers in Vancouver and Toronto. It does skew the rest of it. Again, we know, as Alex likes to say, my area is a bit of an outlier. Now, up island is like still increasing in prices and holding steady. Mid island, like the Nanaimo area, is not good. Like it's like you're seeing price decreases 50K, 80K. Like, but that market to me, again, kind of like Mission and Abbotsford, it just skyrocketed too high. Because people were like, oh, I'm going to move from Vancouver to Nanaimo. I can travel. So they overpaid for prices that just never should have been used.
Yeah. So our show is a little bit shorter today. Alex, you got time to talk about this?
Yeah, it's again, and I've been seeing this like this week alone is again, your bank is there and sometimes they can offer a really low rate. And you're like, oh, damn, I need to take this. And especially 2 years ago, people were like, oh, I'm going to get 5% to compared to 5.5%. Maybe me and Alex could only offer you 5.5%, but your bank offered you 5%. So you're like, awesome, I'm winning. The problem now, and please answer me this for people, did your bank or your mortgage broker ever call you and say, hey, you actually can break your mortgage? Maybe you can go back to your current lender or even go to a new one and actually save money. We are still seeing it today. Spoke with someone, they have a mortgage at RBC. Their interest rate is 5.47. We talked and I'm like, hey, like, have you guys looked at breaking your mortgage? They're like, no, our banker said no. I crunched the numbers for them. They're going to save $15,000 over the next 2 years. Like these are not small amounts of money. And we're talking 5 minutes of time to confirm for you. Now, people have to look at if you took a fixed rate, well, you could be in really big trouble depending on what is called your interest rate differential. And so that's where me and Alex, we can run those scenarios for people. We can say, hey, this is what your penalty actually is going to be. Hey, if you keep this mortgage for the next 2 years, this is what you're going to make. I find people also look at it and say, well, I'm saving money, but hey, if you're going to sell the home in a year, it may actually not make sense because you may have to pay that penalty up front. And that's where it's like, you have to understand the entire problem. And that's where, hey, if you are looking at selling or even refinancing, we can actually use ways to mitigate the penalty. Options, maybe you have some money that you actually can use to do a prepayment. Again, you know that you want that money back out to do other things. You're just using it to lower your mortgage balance. The penalty is based on how much is remaining on your balance. So if you can do a prepayment on it, which can either come from your cash or even a home equity line of credit, in some cases, you could save your penalty by $3,000. And that's where it's lining everything up. Some lenders, though, they have to have that payout. If you're going to do this, it has to be before a month. You can't do it like 3 days before you plan on selling or refinancing. And so, again, it's being proactive on that stuff. And most people, again, they don't know about it until it's too late.
Yeah, I had a client who did exactly that, where they were selling and they were going to have to pay a penalty, and their prepayment privilege was 15%, and they didn't use it yet, and they have a line of credit as well. I'm like, well, I can save this penalty. Your penalty is going to be like $8,000, but we can save 15% of the penalty. Let's pull money out of that line of credit, make a prepayment, lower that, and then because you're going to get that money back once you sell it anyway, so it saved you $1,200 in penalty. So they're like, oh yeah, let's do this. I'm like, okay, here's what you gotta do. You gotta do this, pull it out, make a payment. And that's what they were able to do. Now, would the bank tell you to do that? I'm pretty sure no. All right.
No.
And another thing too,
profit. It's not profit. It's not profits for them. And that's where you can even look at it. Banks make about 30% of the profits on mortgage penalties. And that's where it's, again, understanding, can me and Alex guarantee on a fixed rate what the penalty is going to be? No, we can map it out. If you take a variable rate, you know it's going to be 3 months interest. And that's where trying to talk with clients that they're selling, they're like, we're going to sell in a year. I'm like, guys, you need to take variable. They're like, no. And I'm like, guys, if you take a fixed rate, your penalty could go potentially from $8,000 to $45,000. I can't control that. You can't control that. The bank can't control it. Like, you need to mitigate that risk.
Yeah, 100%. And at the same time too, if you're still on a fixed term and you have, it makes sense to break. Sometimes it may work on paper, but it may not, because the value of your property has gone down.
You have to be careful that way, especially in Vancouver.
Yeah, there's no equity to do it, because I'm thinking of a certain client of mine. I'm going to have to look at that again. We were able to do it, but because their value has gone down, when we look at refinancing or whatever, there's not enough to do it. And they'd have to kick in 30, 40 grand of whatever. And even though they would save 15 grand, they didn't want to kick in 40 grand. So like, yeah, okay, maybe that's.
And that's, we even had it before. Like the nice thing when you set up a mortgage with a home equity line of credit, if you have that equity in there, 2 years ago, rates were about 5.5%. Certain lenders, you can segment your mortgage. And I had a lot of clients that we took a current mortgage at say 5.5%. We knew that rates were going to keep coming down. We actually borrowed from the line of credit. In this case, they had 20%. They took that, did a prepayment, brought their mortgage down. They locked that 100K into 4.5%. We're actually able to cascade their mortgage actual effective rate and that 5.5% down to like 4.5% in the end here. And that's where looking at the entire outcome, so easy. And I look at it, we always look at the cost. What is our initial cost if we're buying something? But again, we have to think of the future cost as well.
Yeah, that's the cascade strategy. Yeah. So, I mean, talk to us about your mortgage if you have any questions at all. So that pretty much kind of wraps up our episode. Alex, what do you got going on this weekend?
This weekend, I mean, as you know, I've been out on the boat lots, not going to be using it this weekend. Most likely the weather's not the best. And we got some birthdays and stuff for some family and everything. And so I'm going to kind of be staying home and just be chilling out that way.
Yeah. So for us, Canada is playing on Sunday. So we'll probably going to watch it in some respect. I feel like I've been doing a lot of socializing lately. So I'm feeling a little bit tired. I want to say the in between Canada games, I'm like, oh, I got to work now. So yeah, just looking to kind of slow down a little bit. My knee has been rehabbed, so I'm looking forward to get back to pickleball and some golfing in the summer. So, all right, folks, thanks for tuning in. If you've liked this episode, do us a favor, please share it with one other person. Help us grow the community. On behalf of Alex Shanks, I'm Alex Pang. Thanks for tuning in to this episode. We'll see you next time.
If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like and subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple, make sure to follow us. Please give us a 5-star rating. You can even send us an email because we want to know what you guys want to hear about. That's what we're here for. Reach out anytime.